Great, hello. Welcome to the Magic the Gathering stream. So we're going to be looking at another deck. We're going to be looking at the other deck they give you. So if you go to the play button, we're just going to have to check to make sure that the stream's working properly. So the first time, we looked at the white deck, the Angelic Army. Yeah, seems like it's going alright. Perfect. So the first time we were looking at the Angelic Army deck. We looked a little bit at that one, and we played with it for 1 hour. I guess 50 minutes, I guess. We looked at it for 10 minutes. And this one didn't really seem to pull out for us or anything. Doesn't really seem like there's anything to really protect them. I mean, you do have the moment of heroism, you do have the other things. Although if you don't have the mana to draw the cards, maybe we did. Maybe we just need to practice with the deck. Or if we go to the blue deck, or maybe it's just actually not a good deck. They also give you the Azure Skies deck. This is a mono blue deck. So maybe these decks aren't supposed to be good. Maybe they're just to teach new players about the colors. So we know that white has creatures that gains life, and it has flying creatures and benefits when you gain life, and angels and cats and humans and soldiers. I don't think there was any soldiers. So that's what we learned about white. Look, we learned about blue, Spectral Sailor. So we already looked at this deck a little bit before, and we can tell this deck's going to be a lot better. It actually has ways to protect your creatures, kind of ways to remove creatures, although not really good ways to remove creatures. It has flying creatures, so more evasion, and card draw, and then actual creatures on the ground that can survive the -2 damage, can survive the shocks, can survive the 3 damage from something. So that's 4 hit points, and it can block things on the ground while your flyers are attacking in the air. I think that's the theory behind this deck. See, Spectral Sailor, he would come out on turn 1, so he has flash flying, and you'll be able to draw cards with him later. So he's much better than the straight cat, you can definitely tell that right away. And then the Wall of Runes, Defender, when he comes, scry 1. So I guess it teaches you about scrying. And then it's good against aggro decks, because they can't attack through that. Entire creature in its owner's hand. So if something was getting out of hand, you could definitely put that in their hand if it had a whole bunch of tokens on it. Or if they summon a big creature that cost all of their mana, you could just put it back in their hand. Flash, whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a +1 counter on him. So this thing, you learned how to use him a little bit in the tutorial. So if we cast spells during an opponent's turn, we could put counters on him. Counter target non-creature spell. So if something tries to kill your creatures, you could protect them. I guess kind of like the Mighty Heroism. Kind of like those white spells, I guess. They are 2 mana. They do protect your creature. And then Stolen by the Fae. Return a creature card with converted mana on it. Cast X to its owner's hand. You may create a blue fairy creature tokens. So you could actually use these on your own character. Use them on your own character. Bring your own guy back to your hand. So that's a really, really good thing to do. When he enters the battlefield, draw a card, and he's 2/1 flyer. So flying is so ridiculous in this game. Just evades everything. And Warden of Vivos, 2/2 flyer. Flying creatures cost 1 less to cast, so you'll be able to pull out the higher creatures easier. And this one draws you 2 cards. If you have a flying creature, it costs 1 less to cast, so it's only 2 mana to play it. And then the Dungeon Geists, like the best creature in the game, Dungeon Geists. 3/3 flyer. When he enters the battlefield, creature becomes tapped and he doesn't untap until Dungeon Geist leaves the battlefield. One of the best things in the game. Mass Manipulation, gain control of X-target creatures and or planeswalkers. So it definitely has lost us games. It definitely has lost us games because somebody uses it on us and then they win the game. And Windstorm Drake, flying, other creatures you control the flying get +1/+0. 3/3 flying. So 5 mana for this is so ridiculously expensive. We tried to use this in decks before when we were playing a long time ago and trying to make every deck we could and use all the cards, but this one just doesn't fit it. 5 mana for that. That's why I'm mixing white with blue and getting the Imperium Eagle. So it's just a 3 cost that does this essentially. And it gives a +1/+1. But Windstorm Drake, flying. Maybe maybe you use them for something, but you also have your Air Elemental 4/4 flying. So white has Sarah's Angel. Sarah's Angel is a flying vigilance. So we can maybe look at that one, right? So the main difference, white has better flyers than blue sometimes. Sometimes blue has better flyers than white. Yeah, the other one has a flying lifelink. So maybe the Healer's Hawk could be better than the Spectral Sailor. But if we're looking at the Sarah's Angel, it's like 4 mana to play it. Yeah, Sarah's Angel, 4/4 flying vigilance. So white has a better flyer than blue, 4/4 just flying. Cost the same mana. And the Riddlemaster Sphinx, 5/5 flying. When he enters the battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. And as we can see, white has Sarah's Guardian, so it costs the same mana, right? Flying vigilance. Other creatures you control have vigilance. So maybe this one might be good in some situations. Creature an opponent controls. It's just we put them in their decks and then we take him out because he's not that useful. Generally putting stuff back to their hand isn't useful because then they play it next turn. We realized that when we played these decks so many times. But here's the blue deck, and of course they give you the 25 lands so you don't get mana screwed. And you click here, you can see the mana curve is all over the place compared to the white deck. So I guess the white deck just teaches you with low creatures. There's a whole bunch of 1 cost things, 3 cost things, 4 cost, 5 cost, 6 cost, so there actually is 4 cost creatures in this deck. And a whole bunch of 1 cost. There wasn't ones in the other deck really, 1 cost things. A whole bunch of creatures, instant, sorceries, and lands, all islands. Creatures 25. So there we go, there's the blue deck. So we do have more faith in this one than the white deck. So if we just take this one into games, we're recording for 7.5 minutes, so we got this introduction done a lot sooner. Oh, because maybe we're looking at all the decks a little bit at the beginning. Maybe we weren't looking at all of them. But if you go first, if you draw 3 lands, you would definitely want to keep that. You definitely want to keep 3 lands. So you want to play 1 island and be unsummoned. If your opponent plays something early that you don't want on the field, you could return it. So you could return that if you want, but you could probably keep the unsummoned. You can just keep it for now. So he's just gonna play it next turn, right? So you'd just be wasting it. So you don't really have any early plays in this hand. Enters, each opponent discards a card. So you could discard something that's expensive like the Windstorm Drake. He'd never do anything for you. And especially bad when you draw him in the beginning hand, right? It's just so expensive. So this thing has flash, so we could play it on the opponent's turn, and we could play unsummon. So we could do 2 things on the opponent's turn. So maybe this text teaches you about doing things on your opponent's turn. So we just play you. You have flash. When you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, it gets +1/+1. So you do that. Oh, destroy target creature. So you could even unsummon your creature, right? You played your creature, trying to destroy him. You could unsummon him. Did that accomplish anything? We're not sure. So if we end the turn, he knows we have this in our hand now, though. So you can see the problem with all of these high cost things. Actually not that good, you need a really lot of low cost things. But this deck did have a lot of low cost things. You might as well just block him. And then we did not try the mana. So a lot of the, sometimes, some of the times you'll get a no mana in the game. Sometimes the game will give you free mana. They will never ever give you the fourth mana. So I should have mulliganed if we didn't have any control cards. Oh, there's the alley. So now you can play a Dungeon Geist, 3/3 flyer, and we could tap a creature somebody controls. So what's this say? Return a creature dies or is put in exile, return the card to the battlefield under your control. So you can tap him, and he will be tapped until your Dungeon Geist leaves the battlefield. Super sick. Unless he destroys the creature. And he's trying to attack with Knight of the Ebon Legion, so you don't want to block with him, because he has untapped mana, and he's going to kill your Dungeon Geist. And he's going to use his ability, it gives him +3/+3, so he's actually a 5/6 creature. So you go here if you want. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we don't even have enough to use that, right? You play the Windstorm Drake or the Air Elemental. Yeah, probably play the Air Elemental. Air Elemental is marginally better, way better than the other thing. So we could just say no attackers. Then we could try to block because we have 6 hit points. Oh, when you Grey Merchant on, he just does damage to you and then you lose the game. we don't make single color decks. I mean, there is good single color decks. Just that they probably purposefully seed these starter decks with decks that can be upgraded with other cards later that are much better than the cards that they give you. But it does give you a good base for actually starting the game and playing the game. If you don't know anything about making decks, you could just take these decks and then just lose over and over. So we got some 1-drops, keep 7. He's going to protect the ground, and he's going to come out later. Maybe we could even use him for something. So play the 1 mana, play the Wall of Runes. Oh, he said hello, so you can click on your character and say hello. Oh, we can scry. So you do want that one. Oh, scrying, you could put a card from the top of your library on the top or to the bottom of your library. So you could decide what your next card's going to be. So I guess we just wait for the opponent's turn then. We could play this thing on our opponent's turn. Flash. We just take another card, put a +1 counter on him. Oh, cool. I don't think we've seen him when we were drafting. Maybe we did. But when all of his things are done, and if he attacks, no, so your 0/4 on the ground has protected you, stopping him from attacking. Well, it costs 1 mana to play him, so he is pretty decent. And you play Winged Words of Wisdom for 3 mana, to allow you to draw 2 cards, and then you could attack with them, or you could try to get him stronger. Yeah, it's because when you cast a spell on your opponent's turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. Oh, another card. First time we did 1/1 soldier tokens. We've seen that card before. So you play Rylands, play your Cloudkin Seer, 2/1 flyer. When you play him, you draw a card. And then you can play your Spectral Sailor. Oh, he has Flash Flying, so you don't have to play him now. Then you could just leave them on the ground to defend, I guess. That'd be something. Just be defensive. Let your flyers kill everything. So we haven't actually played with ground defense for a long time. We should just go pure flyers. I think see if he attacks or anything. If he doesn't, you could play your Spectral Sailor. So he's deciding right now if he's going to attack or not. Whenever you cycle another card, put +1 counter on it. Oh, another 1/1 fox. Oh, so before it says your turn, play your card with flash. Just have to set flash for now. Oh, and because you played a spell on your opponent's turn, he gets +1/+1. So you play an island. And you might as well use all of your mana to play air element. Then you could slide in for 3 damage, right? Nobody has reach. Make sure nobody has reach. Make sure nobody's able fire. Then fly in. Cool, and then the people on the ground are protecting you. Oh, cycling one. So now all of his things, whenever you cycle, tap target creature, and you cycle, +1 counter on them. So the new cycling deck seems pretty good. It just cycles everything, and then everybody gets stronger. That's why you'd have to end these games quickly, right? So he's attacking you. So the 0/4 could block the 3/3. Oh, and then you tap that creature. So I guess that's all you could block. And then the rest of his guys are going to get through. So you have another wall of runes to protect you on the ground. Then you could scry one. So you can scry one before you draw a card. So if you don't need land, you can put the land on the bottom. And then you could play Cloud Conceal to draw a card. Well, you do need an mention, right? Deals 4 damage to our creature, so he's destroyed the air elemental. So you could bring him back to your hand, or you could just let his thing resolve. So he comes in. So we did draw land anyways, right? Next turn, I'll be able to play the Riddle Master. So he might tap your creatures again. So you should maybe defend. 3/2. Okay, so you draw cards, right? You're gonna draw cards later. So just attack with these fires. And then you have some things on the ground to defend still. You should be able to click a resolve all button. There's no board wipes in this deck. Oh, you click resolve all again. He's just going to tap all of his creatures, and all of his guys are going to get +1/+1. So I guess you're making a mono white deck. That would be the mono white deck to make, right? Much better than the mono white deck that they start you with. Although it does have mountains for some reason. He hasn't played anything that requires mountains. Oh, so we pass. Then he's going to attack, yep. So you try to block, so 4. So we could unsummon something too. Oh. Yeah, just kill him. And then you could use unsummon. Unsummon one of the flourishing foxes that's a 6/6. And you have 85 hit points. These decks. These pre-made starter decks. So I wonder if we should make them an hour long, right? The other one was an hour long for some reason. We just did so many games with it. Because we know they're gonna be bad. But we did want to make all the deck videos like 1 hour long. Maybe they should be like 30 minutes. So we'll just do like another round or two with the blue deck, see how it goes. Imagine you could just keep playing forever and then probably actually find some amazing games and then just release a video and be like, here's the deck, look at this one game we did amazing. This deck is the best deck. So we keep everything. We got a 1 cost, a 2 cost, and then a 5 cost. Which is why he never fits in any of the decks. Oh, so you play the island, play the wall of ruins. Hello. And it would stop him if he's a Russian deck. So if we were trying to scry, we would have put the unsummon on the bottom of the deck. So you play Wall of Ruins if you want to. You could probably play the Brine Cutthroat on your opponent's turn. That'd probably be better. Oh, and then before it's your turn, you play your guy with Flash. There you go. Then you play the island. Then you can play the Cloud Consumer. 2-1 flyer. As you draw a card, and then everybody attacks. Something much better than unsummon. Actually, unsummon could return these guys, right? If they try to kill Cloud Concealer, just use unsummon and then just draw another card. Something like that. So play the plains, or play the islands. You play Wall of Ruins, and then you could scry one. You see, we probably do need a land. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we had 5 land, we could play these. So everybody attacks for 2 damage. Yeah, and you know that the island's coming next. That cause trigger ability to cause a trigger. Triggers an additional time. Creature tokens have vigilance, so I don't think you need to do anything, right? You could unsummon him. He was unsummon him. He goes back to his hand, and you're gonna play that mana for nothing, and he gets a little bit stronger. So then you could say everybody attacks again. Then for 3, you can play the air elemental 4/4 flying. Then your opponent conceded. Cool, so we didn't have that happen with the white deck, right? This one's not too good, but it did stop him. It did stop him. I think maybe we won 1 game with the white deck too. Yeah, it's definitely that one Drake that's the problem. He doesn't need to be in any deck. What about that one flying creature? He draws you a card. He draws you cards later in the play. And I guess he's just like a unblockable creature on turn 1. If they don't have flying, you'd just be unblockable. So when you start, you play your island. And then you don't have any turn 1 play. So you don't want to unsummon him probably. Probably want to save it. Lifelink haste. Choice of a death touch or a lifelink counter. Yeah, I just think the white deck might be good, but then it wouldn't be. So if we have 2 free mana, we can cast Negate. If we cast a non-creature spell, we could counter it. If it doesn't, then we can't. We could unsummon something. Oh, we could have negated that. That was a perfect example. We could have negated that. Could have countered that. That would have been a good example, but we made the mistake of just fast. Play 3 mana, we play Warden of Evils, 2/2 flyer, flying creatures cost 1 has to cast. Then the opponent might destroy him with something. Black seems to do that a lot. Oh, so you tell he has lifelink, you tell he has death touch. Oh, he didn't attack. So you play Dungeon Geist, 3 mana, cost 1 less than has because of him. And then you could tap the guy with death touch. You just fly in for 2 damage. I guess 30 minutes doesn't really give a lot of time to actually test the deck. 1 hour probably is a good thing. So you play the island, maybe Windstorm Creek, flying creatures get +1/+0. I think you might as well just send everybody to attack, right? It doesn't have any flyers, nothing to block. So what's this thing do that we didn't counter? You control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that's why combining white with black when you're making that life gain deck, like the mono white was trying to do with the life gain, you pretty much mix it with black and then your life gain's considerably better. Unless you have a full deck of actual good white cards. I guess that would make sense. When you start the game, you don't really have all of those. So you play Cloudkin Seer. He would draw you a card. I think you might as well attack with everybody. Oh, you drew the island. You drew the island, so you got 1 extra island. So now you can attack with everyone if you want. So is that going to be the mono black deck? I think it is. I think that actually is the mono black deck that we're fighting against. So now we have something to counter a non-creature spell if he casts it, and then we have the Spectral Sailor to come out. Oh, he attacks. Oh, my turn. So before your turn, you play Spectral Sailor. If you want to draw another card, you can put him back to your hand and then play him next turn. So you play the ruins, so you protect the ground, and then we don't really need the land, do we? 1, 2. We do. If we get the land, we can play the 6-cost creature. I guess everybody attacks. That's why flyers are so powerful. Just why we never got to the flyers. But the ruins on the ground actually protected us. So this one seems to have a higher win ratio unless we just 100% don't know how to play the white deck. Yeah, maybe we'll make it like 30 minutes. So the Azure guys, and then we could just move on to the next deck, and then make some other ones maybe. So this one, definitely a huge step up from the white deck. Definitely, it's got a 0/4, so it protects him from all of the creature removal, unlike the other white creatures. And you don't have to cast a spell to keep him alive. Unsummon will get rid of his creatures or save your creatures. Never got to use that one, but he gives you card advantage since you play this creature. And then he essentially replaces himself by drawing a card. Card draw 2 cards, so that works. He takes out creatures. This thing shouldn't be in the deck. This thing shouldn't be in the deck. But there's the blue one. there's the blue starter deck. So if we go look at the decks, there's like some more, right? They show you the white one, the blue one, and then we'll just go through the black one, we'll go through the red one, we'll go through the green one, and then whichever multicolored ones we've unlocked. Probably notice that those ones will be a lot better. And then maybe we'll go through our decks. Maybe make some decks, right? The best part about the game is making your own decks. These pre-made ones, like you could take them and then change them, replace all the bad things. Except we're just gonna leave them vanilla for now. We don't want to ruin them. We like take out the cats, take out the fencing ace, take out moment of heroism, take out that thing. Like literally replace those with creature removal. That would make everything better. Get rid of him because he's useless. And then like for the blue, so we're supposed to be talking about the blue deck. The blue deck, what would you change in the blue deck? Get rid of the unsummons. Summons don't help you. Or maybe they could. Negates. I don't know if there's anything wrong with the deck. Oh, the Windstorm Drakes, that's right, these 5. At least get rid of these 5. At least get rid of the Windstorm Drake. At least get rid of these guys. Then other than that, I'm trying to think of something that you'd probably have. So it's only until end of turn, right? He's not a good bird. Blue Serpent, so I don't think you start with those. Return creature to his hand during your main phase. I think you get that from the deck later. Counter spell, unless it plays 4. So if you actually get a hard counter spell, something like this, maybe be better than negate. Counter target non-creature, maybe put actual counter, it could counter anything. Draw 2 cards. Flying. If you have one of those, you put those, maybe those. Oh, here we go. Tap enchanted creature. Creature does not untap. So there's actual creature removal. Better than unsummon. I guess maybe this would kind of work with the Wall of Ruins. 1/6 flash. There's an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So that's actually from the newest set, so you probably wouldn't even have that one. I guess there's not really too much that they give you for one single color, which is why it makes all the more sense to combine the colors to get 2 colors to actually make a better deck. Because there's like nothing to replace these cards with anyways, right? That's all they give you. That's pretty much all they give you for blue. Maybe we'll look at the different deck. Now we'll look at the black.